What if there was a way for source consciousness to communicate directly with you? Not through words, not through symbols, not through intuition alone, but through a living, energetic language that could reveal your state of being in real time, at any time. What if this language could give you immediate feedback from Source itself, revealing whether your manifestations were moving closer or further away, and whether a decision, a relationship, a goal, or even a supplement was good for you or bad for you? I'm going to introduce you to an incredibly powerful tool, unlike anything I've encountered before, and I'm going to show you how to use it. Several years ago, while working with the toroidal flow around my body, I began noticing something unusual. At first, it appeared only during meditation. It looked very much like a slowly spinning disc, like the rings of Saturn, except without a planet in its center. The energy spiraled inwards, slowly rotating. Sometimes it appeared vertically, sometimes horizontally. It often floated at a 45-degree angle in front of me. Sometimes it rotated clockwise, other times counterclockwise. Sometimes it moves slowly and smoothly, and other times much quicker and more erratically. It would appear and disappear at random times, almost like it was a messenger trying to communicate something to me that I hadn't yet learned how to interpret. What fascinated me most was what appeared at its center. A swirling current of energy seemed to spiral inward into what looked like a vortex, almost like a portal or a gateway. It reminded me of the way clouds disappear on a weather map as they spiral into the eye of a hurricane. It felt alive, intelligent, dynamic, and responsive. At the time, I had absolutely no idea what I was looking at. As the weeks passed, the disc started to appear at random times, rather than only during meditation. I would see it throughout the day, during walks, while driving, during quiet times when I was reflecting on something that was happening in my life. But then one day, I noticed something that caught my attention. As I watched it, it seemed to change direction, moving from clockwise to anti-clockwise in a rhythmic pattern. I stopped what I was doing and I focused on it more closely. That's when I suddenly realized it wasn't changing direction randomly at all. It was responding to my breath. My inhales rotated it clockwise. My exhales rotated it anti-clockwise. I was mesmerized, breathing along with the movement of this strange mystical disc. From that moment on, I knew there was much more to this than I'd originally assumed. This disc was responding to me. It was interacting with me, communicating in a way I couldn't yet understand. And it was time I dedicated myself to understanding the language it was using. What I began to discover transformed my entire understanding of how source consciousness communicates directly with us. Not only could it reveal my current energy state, it could also reveal something even more fascinating: the progress of my manifestations. Because this rotating disc wasn't simply a random image that kept appearing. It was a language. All I needed to do was decipher it. Before I go any further, I should share that at first I assumed this experience was unique to me. It wasn't. So far, I've spoken with 3 different people who've experienced this same disc, but had no idea what it was. 2 of them I met recently through a meetup group. Neither had intentionally explored working with it, but both had been seeing it for some time. Through sharing our experiences, they have now begun exploring their discs in some really exciting ways. I've also connected with other people online who often see it, with varying degrees of understanding as to what it actually is and why it appears. As time went on, I began sitting with the disc more intentionally. I would ask it questions and simply observe how it responded. I started taking notes, looking for correlations between my state of mind and the way the disc moved, its speed, its direction, its angle, and its overall behavior. Over time, I began developing a very rudimentary understanding of the language it seemed to be using. Then one day, I asked it a very direct question about something I was focused on creating in my life. I wanted to know the status of a manifestation I was working on. As I watched, the disc shifted into a horizontal position and rotated around a central axis. It tilted from side to side in what almost looked like a subtle figure-8 pattern. I'd never seen it move quite like that before, and I had no idea what the movement meant. But I knew one thing without a doubt: it was answering my question. The response wasn't random, it was specific, directly related to what I had asked. In that moment, I realized that this disc was providing information about what I was manifesting. Somehow it appeared to be showing me the current state of my manifestation, how close or how far it was from physically showing up in my physical reality. I was absolutely blown away. Since those early experiences, I've come a long way in learning this language. And in this video, I'm not only going to share with you what I've discovered, I'm also going to show you how to connect with your own disc. Because this isn't something unique or exclusive to a few select people. The disc is part of our genetic makeup. It's a natural interface that already exists within us. It's not something you create. It's something you become aware of. All it takes is tuning into its presence, and you'll be able to perceive and interact with it. Once you tune into it, you'll discover that this disc can become a powerful tool for exploring your reality. It's a communication interface, a way of testing whether your intentions are harmonious or distorted, whether a manifestation is unfolding or delayed, whether it's in your best interest or not. In short, it provides a direct line of communication with source consciousness itself, allowing you to receive answers through a language beyond words. So let me first show you how to connect with the disc so that you can begin exploring it for yourself. Then I'll share what I've learned of its unique language so that you can interpret what it shows you. This interpretation will evolve based on your own experiences and observations. And when it does, I invite you to please share what you learn in the comments so that together we can deepen our understanding and help others in their own exploration. I was originally reticent about sharing this tool because, though it's simple to use, it opens the door to a pretty advanced exploration. But if there's one thing I've learned about this community, it's that you are a fearless group. So let's get started. The exercise is very simple, but the exploration is profound. Enter into a very relaxed state where you won't be disturbed for about 10 to 15 minutes. Slow your breath, letting each inhale and exhale take you into a deeply relaxed state. Then set your intention to open your perception to this spiraling disc. Begin to visualize a luminous spiral of light in front of you, wider at the base, narrowing as it rises upwards and dissolves into the void. Slowly begin collapsing the top of the spiral into its base so that it becomes a disc of rotating, spiraling energy. Let this image unfold in its own way, imposing no control or expectation. Simply observe it as it chooses to be, remaining open and receptive to how it reveals itself to you. Begin to explore it. How big is it? How does it look? Notice how it moves. Does it rotate quickly or slowly? Clockwise or anti-clockwise? Is it vertical, horizontal, at a different angle? Take your time. Be curious, opening up to experiencing its nature. And now begin to explore how it reflects your state of being. Throughout your day, call your attention to it when you're experiencing different emotional states, such as when you're feeling relaxed, excited, anxious, or angry. In what way does the disc change during those times? Its movement, its direction, its angle or size. Before engaging more deeply with specific questions, it's important to spend quality time exploring this new relationship, letting the disc reveal itself to you through the way it reflects your emotional, physical, and spiritual state at any given moment. Only in this way will you begin to understand the messages it's communicating to you. Okay, so let's talk about how the disc communicates. It's a unique symbolic type language. The speed, direction, size, and angle are not random. With continued observation, patterns began to emerge. With the help of the architect, I began to understand how to interpret many of these movements and what they were communicating. The angles moving away from the 0 degrees of the horizontal line tell you what part of your reality the disc is communicating about. Different angles mirror the personality construct of physical, emotional, mental, multidimensional, and spiritual. When the disc is horizontal, it's connected to your physical reality, your body, your day-to-day life, grounding, stability, time and space, and the physical timeline you're currently experiencing. It appears when something is grounding from energy into physical form. It also indicates that your energy is actively transmitting outward into the collective field, that an intention, a thought, or manifestation has enough energy behind it that it's actively being broadcast into reality. When the disc begins to rise to the lower angles around 30 degrees, it relates to emotional energy, relationships, emotional echoes, unresolved feelings, or the emotional charge connected to what you're asking. Around 45 degrees, the message moves into the mental field, beliefs, perspectives, thought patterns, and the way your mind is organizing the experience. Around 45 degrees, the disc relates to timeline movement, transition, and multidimensional access. The in-between space of where one version of reality is shifting into another. And around 60 to 75 degrees, it relates to deeper inner initiation, spiritual retrieval, and information coming from a much higher layer of your being. The 45-degree angle is especially important. It's the transitional angle, the threshold. When the disc appears diagonally, it means you're in between states, in between timelines, or in a period of transformation where something is moving from one form into another. This is the angle I see most often. When the disc is vertical, the message becomes deeply reflective. It relates to your identity and the polarities you're experiencing in your life. This is the mirror angle. It means that reality is reflecting something back to you that it's important for you to understand or integrate personally. If it changes angles multiple times, pausing at different points along the way, Those pauses matter. The angle where it pauses, the longest, is typically the strongest part of the message. That is the area asking for your attention. Simply observe where it pauses and ask for insight on what the disc is showing you. The journey of the disc is part of the communication. And if the disc becomes erratic, unstable, or starts moving in a way that feels chaotic, don't assume something's wrong. It means your field is recalibrating. It may mean there's more energy moving through you than your current state can easily stabilize. It may mean your thoughts, emotions, and intentions are not moving coherently in one direction. Or it may mean that a new frequency is trying to integrate and the disc is showing you the turbulence of that adjustment. Now, I'm sharing with you the translation of my own disc that it's revealed to me through my observations and explorations. What you experience may be similar, or you might discover variations and meanings unique to your relationship with it. As your understanding deepens, allow the disc itself to become your teacher. Simply witness it without interfering. The disc will always stabilize on its own, reflecting your own return to alignment. Now, the disc is a mirror of your current state of consciousness, and because of this, you can use it in many different ways. For example, it can show you the progress of your manifestations. Let's say you've released energy for a new job, and you want to see where that creation currently is in the manifestation process. Simply ask, show me the current phase of this creation. The disc will respond. If it becomes more vertical, more internal transformation is required. There may be something you must become before the manifestation can arrive. If it becomes horizontal, you're in alignment. Your manifestation will soon appear in physical reality in some form. At different angles, explore what I shared earlier about the different layers of communication the disc may be revealing. If it moves slowly or erratically, your energy may need more focus and clarity. You can also use the disc to bring your energy back into balance. When you wake up in the morning, recall the disc and align it horizontally, rotating clockwise in a smooth, steady motion. This brings you into a more coherent state. If the disc resists, don't force it. Breathe into it and open up to the recalibration it's offering you. Now, there's another way I work with the disc that I call play mode, but it's not really play because all movement affects energy and it's creative by nature. By interacting with it, you are issuing symbolic commands to your energy field. What do I mean by that? If the disc is rotating clockwise, you can intentionally reverse its direction. I do this simply by twirling my finger in the opposite direction, like this. I can also change its speed, its angle. I can even change the way it moves through space. The disc is an energetic instrument tuned to your unique energy signature. You're not simply observing it, you're co-creating with it. I find that when I'm experiencing an emotional state and intentionally alter the disc's speed, direction, or angle, I notice a corresponding change within me. Take a moment to let that sink in. The disc not only reveals your current energy state, it also responds to your intent, spoken or unspoken. The more you understand what the speed, direction, movement, and angles of your own disc means, the more potent, the more powerful your interaction with it becomes. And here's something even more powerful. It can tell you whether something is beneficial or detrimental for you. A supplement, a specific food, the energy of another person, For example, if I hold a supplement within my energy field, the disc will either spin erratically and give me a low tone in my left ear, indicating a disruptive energy, or it'll spin smoothly and give me a high-pitched celestial tone, indicating a harmonious energy. The more you work with the disc, the more refined this communication becomes. For me, the tones actually began years ago when I started exploring biogeometry, another way of working with the language of energy. But as I continued working with the disc, those tones became dramatically stronger. And now, there are many times I don't even need to see the disc. I simply hear the tone. It immediately tells me whether something is beneficial to my energy or not. For example, I may reach for an item on a supermarket shelf and immediately hear the tone telling me that it isn't in my best interest. Or I may be invited to an event and instantly know whether that experience will be energetically beneficial for me or not. And that's just the tip of the iceberg. Imagine the power of having access to that kind of information whenever you need it. The self-sovereignty it offers, the ability to trust your own direct connection with Source, rather than handing that authority to anyone or anything outside of yourself. It's right there. It's always been there. You've never been without it. All I'm doing is activating your conscious awareness of it. Now, take a moment to let the ramifications of what this means sink in. And with that, we'll bring this to a close. Questions or comments are always welcome. I read them all. And I've also left a question in the pinned comment for any insights that you'd like to offer. If you like the sharing and you'd like to hear more, please hit the like button, which helps me know if you're inspired by my teachings. For more insights, tap the notification bell to be notified when new videos are released. Thank you so much for listening and for being part of this beautiful community where, with this advanced exploration, becoming self-sovereign takes on a whole new meaning. Superhuman made simple with the architect.